Real Life is a 1979 American comedy written, directed, and starring Albert Brooks.
Number one, 'cause you live in the beautiful valley of the sun. You got weather that's sunny and clear. Here, we're gonna have one heck of a year.
So it's sort of a mockumentary or a parody of a 1973 reality show called An American Life. So this was the first reality show ever made in America. It aired on PBS, and it was based on this family living in California called the Louds.
For 7 months, from May 30th, 1971 to January 1st, 1972, the family was filmed as they went about their daily routine.
They sort of spent, like the original show, the PBS show, they spent 7 months with the Louds, like with cameras and everything. And then eventually they took all that footage and made like 12 one-hour episodes that were aired weekly. So that is available on YouTube. Like if you want to check it out, you can check it out because it's like the first reality show ever made. So Real Life is like a parody or a spoof of that series. So if you watch even like one episode of that series, if you watch like the first episode, you pretty much get an idea of what he's trying to spoof. Not that the film doesn't work if you don't watch that, but it's sort of great because even if you watch like 20 minutes of it, you get a very good idea of what he's actually going for. So with this one, in Real Life, Albert Brooks is playing Albert Brooks, sort of like a fictional version of himself. And the movie starts off with he's come to this small town and they're going to shoot like a documentary or like there's no name for a reality show as yet. So he's sort of like we're making a new kind of movie, and so he's addressing like the city council and he explains to them what is going to happen and sort of puts on a good show. There's a song, he sings a song for them, and there's like a buffet.
See you soon. Hope you like the expensive buffet. $2,000.
And he's got like two people with him who are from the Institute of Psychology or something. So which is also there in the, if you watch American Life, like in the beginning of it, the host sort of talks about like, we don't know what kind of psychological impact we may have had on the family because of, constantly being there with cameras. So it very much sort of parallels that. And then one of the psychologists in that group, played by J.A. Preston, he's not very happy about this. He thinks like this is all psychological torture. And the reality show sort of immediately starts to go off the rails because in this one, it's based around this fictional family called the Yeagers. And it's Charles Grodin plays the husband and Frances Lee McCain plays the wife, and they have like two kids. Mr. Yeager is actually like Dr. Yeager. He's a veterinary doctor. And he's sort of the nervous sort, and sort of immediately the minute they come in, he starts getting very jittery and he's very conscious of the camera, and he immediately starts to like try and put on like a show for the camera of like, oh, don't say bad words when you're having dinner, and don't shout or whatever.
What are you doing?
No, I just want to let them know that this is not the way we usually talk, especially at the dinner table. Okay. Why don't we just pretend that we just sat down and we can start over? Okay.
Albert Brooks is very sort of dominating, and he's trying to make them, be more cheerful, or let there be like, he wants more action in the show. And they have like these really fancy cameras.
The smallest, most versatile motion picture camera ever made. From Holland, the Ettenauer 226 XL. The Ettenauer is actually worn over the head. The camera is controlled by using body movement and by operating this human eye-like lens system. Isn't that something?
Which are like these sort of very sci-fi cameras that they're wearing.
Only 6 of these cameras were ever made. Only 5 of them ever worked. We had 4 of those.
and so they're always around. So it's shot very interestingly, because like some of it is shot like an actual movie, and then some of it is very sort of like first person, so you know that, you know, so there is a cameraman in there with them. The film is kind of uneven, like it sort of ebbs and flows. Like there are moments in there which are genuinely hilarious. Like there's a scene with the horse which is probably one of the best scenes of the movie.
What happened?
We lost her.
You lost her?
I'm sorry.
How could you lose her?
I'm really sorry.
Don't you have people here who stay with the animals? Well, let's get the damn hell out of here and find her.
That was just the beginning of what was to be a bad time in the Jaegers' lives.
And there's another scene where the wife goes to a gynecologist, and that is really well done. Turns out like the gynecologist has like a dark history or something. So all of that stuff is great. The ending is wonderful. Like when everything starts to fall apart, like they have a really nice ending. He also has to deal with his studio boss, because the studio boss doesn't get it, like what they're trying to do. Because as I said, like, you know, reality shows were very rare back then. I don't know how many other reality shows were done in the 70s. Like The American Life is like early 70s. Did they do anything after that? I have no idea. But it's still like the like earlier there was like from in the movie there's supposed to be like a younger guy running the studio or running this particular project. So he's quit and left, and the old studio boss is now in charge of it, and he doesn't get this whole idea of like, why are we shooting random strangers. So he keeps giving suggestions like, maybe we should get like Robert Redford to do a cameo. People really like Robert Redford.
May I interrupt for 1 minute, please? People aren't going to walk out of a theater saying, I don't like that guy, the guy who holds the cup with one hand, with two hands.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what they do have a good chance of saying. Where the hell is Paul Newman? Where's Redford? Where's Nicholson? Believe me, they prefer Nicholson with the cup than the cup with the other guy.
So he keeps giving suggestions like that, and no one is getting. And then you have like the Institute for Psychology is sort of partnered up with them. So they are trying to save face, or they're trying to make sure that, you know, nothing too bad happens which will make the institute look bad. So they have people coming over and looking over the footage, and they keep sort of, you know, they sort of keep nitpicking and focusing on like these, oh, he was picking his coffee cup with his right hand, but now he's using both his hands. So we think that he's having like a personality change or something. So it keeps sort of, so he has to deal with all of that and still make the reality show, and the family sort of falling apart, like, because, you know, like shit happens and they don't know how to deal with it, and there's like cameras in their face all the time. What is amusing is how much the studio sort of cares about their psychological health. Like right now, I don't think anyone gives a shit. Like ever since you see things like, you know, Big Boss or Big Brother or whatever, and those are like just nightmarish because everyone is just screaming and shouting all the time. Like no one cares. But with this one, they're like, oh, I don't know what kind of psychological impact. So it kind of shows a different time. Like right now, no one would care. Like absolutely no one would care. You know, like you could probably set the house on fire and no one would care. So yeah, it is a pretty amusing movie. Like it's nice to see like a spoof of a very old reality show. It's sort of like a slice of history in that sense, because you get an idea of like, you know, what old reality shows were like, and, you know, someone trying to spoof that. So overall, it's fun. Like it's a genuinely amusing movie to watch.